Welcome, 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 welcome. Welcome back to Akin. Thank you so much for joining me. This is a video to follow up on concepts around the new earth and what I think will be so impactful um, for whites to consider um, as characteristic traits, ideas, things to work towards, um, to have to create a racial utopia. So I'm just going to go right into it. New Earth whites. New Earth whites recognize that race is a social construct. New Earth whites know that there is no such thing as a superior race, as there is only one race, the human race. New Earth whites will recognize themselves as part of a socially constructed white race. New Earth whites will see themselves as part of the dominant culture in North America. New Earth whites recognize that they have been purposefully segregated from blacks and people of color since the beginnings of this country. New Earth whites will recognize that they know very little about other cultures and ways of being besides their own. New Earth whites will study history with new eyes and recognize our common racialized history and the responsibility that whites have to deconstruct racism, as race was created by Europeans for the purpose of social and economic domination. New Earth whites practice powerful listening techniques and build support systems with other whites, blacks, and people of color. New Earth whites are unafraid to behave as change agents and model behavior for other whites. New Earth whites know the history and origin of the human race and that all humanity began in Africa. New Earth whites know and understand how blacks and people of color have been impacted by colonization, the transatlantic slave trade, and the ongoing legacy of racism. New Earth whites will change the culture of white denial to white awareness by memorializing and openly mourning the wounds that have been inflicted by whites onto blacks and people of color. New Earth whites are well read, studied, and ready for intelligent and thoughtful interactions with blacks and people of color. New Earth whites are dedicated to the mastery of cross-cultural interaction. New Earth whites will realize that racism has created a form of mental illness and that it has formed innumerable fears and distortions about blacks and people of color that has caused whites to behave irrationally and without due cause in reaction to these mental states of fear, anxiety, anger, and resentment. Mixed in with dissociation and denial due to 350 years of oppression, segregation, and separation. New Earth whites are unafraid of challenging other whites to educate and inform them of racist behaviors, whether overt or subtle. New Earth whites want to create new ways to be present that differ from past identification with racial superiority that created a shallow and superficial sense of white identity with no intention, with no interaction or feedback from blacks and people of color. New Earth whites will have reconciled with their humanity by releasing patterns of racial superiority, carefully and methodically taking on learning about other cultures and ways of being human, denouncing white power, beginning to embrace integration of power in Western society with blacks and people of color. New Earth whites will reimagine society, embracing integration of all people of all shades and differences. New Earth whites will have a lifelong dedication to transforming society into a just racial utopia. New Earth whites will show kindness, courtesy, empathy, friendship, emotional honesty, care, consideration, intelligence, humanness, realistic expectations, recognize their place in society, recognize our common humanity, and recognize our common potential, common human potential. Thank you for listening and thank you for joining me with the Kin. God bless you.